Okay, okay, we're good.
Okay. So just state your name.
Jesse Gavin.
And then how old you are.
I'm 26.
Okay, where are you from?
Stevens Point, Wisconsin. I'm currently working at Dairy Queen as an assistant manager, and I'm going to school for media studies. I'm hoping to work in something with media advertising, either with somewhere in town or possibly somewhere out of the state. My biggest inspiration is probably Ariana Grande. I really just started following her at a young age and when she was younger, and I just kind of saw her whole development and how far she's come since she started, and I've just been really inspired by her voice and her singing. I don't think this is exactly when I realized, but I just think this is a funny story. When I was in 4th grade, this kid came up to me at recess and was like, he's like, you remind me of what's his name? You remind me of Jack from Will and Grace. And I just without even thinking was just like, thanks. Because I was like, he's on TV, so he's cool or whatever. And that was the first time somebody mentioned it. And then from there I just kind of people would mention it, but I didn't really realize, I don't think, until I was probably 16 or 17.
Okay.
For sure. One of the first people that I can remember is one of my old bosses at work. We just kind of got on the topic about it, and she just kind of said, you are who you are, people are gonna love you either way, and it doesn't change that much. So that kind of inspired me to be okay, this isn't that bad, and then just kind of come out from there. But yeah, my mom was my mom said oh yeah, as long as you're happy, I don't care. My dad was kind of shocked. His first response was what did I do wrong? And I was okay. But that sucked. That was hard, but he I don't know, we don't really talk about it, so it's just kind of we kind of just swept it under the rug for now. But I'm hoping that one day maybe he'll come around and change his mind. But I definitely think my friends, it was easier.
Yeah.
Because my parents, I felt I was letting them down in a way, which I didn't want to do, but at the same time I didn't want to hide who I was. So it's easier to be happy with knowing who you are than trying to hide and be scared of that. So. With my friends, I just kind of told them all separately, and they kind of all were just oh yeah, that's fine, that's cool, we don't care. And then from there I think people just kind of word of mouth just kind of got around, and then nobody really said anything about it, so I was alright, I guess it's normal. So that was cool. It was pretty, I mean, it was relatively normalized for me, so that was good. Well, I didn't come out in high school just because I wasn't completely comfortable. I don't know if I completely knew for sure if I was or not. I had knew in the back of my mind, but I didn't want to come out because I didn't want to be a target to bullies and stuff. I mean, there was still people that bullied me for sure. And there were, I don't think I went through a lot enough to really be super scarred from it or anything. I personally feel it motivated me because I was you know what, if you really don't like me because of that, then it's your loss because you're missing out on a great person. So, I mean, I don't know, I just kind of it inspired me to be okay, yeah, so what, I'm different, but I can still be a normal human. I'm not a zoo animal, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, I get that it's different for people, but for me it's just my normal everyday life, so. Once at a bar, someone was making fun of my voice or how I talked, and that kind of upset me, but I just instead of getting really upset, I just stepped away and got space from it and was like, okay, I'm just gonna go be the bigger person and not let this person bother me over stupid things that don't matter. So and I just try to be like as like my like normal self, and I think that really can help show people that like being gay isn't that different, because in a lot of ways it's not. Like the only thing that really changes is like your personal life in the way that, in the sense that it's a one person with another person sort of thing, as long as you don't like publicly expose it in like any sort of way. Like even if you're a straight person, like nobody wants to watch you make out with somebody. It's kind of gross. And in public. So I feel like as long as you're like a normal person for the most part, and you're like decently easy to get along with, in my case I think that might be the case, it helps to like show people that it's normal and not to be afraid of it. So that was really exciting. I felt like we were actually going in a more positive direction. I feel like there's obviously more work to be done. It's obviously going to be a continued fight, and that's how like any kind of rights are, basic human rights. Hello. So, you know, and I'm not saying it's something that like we want it to be like up in people's faces, like, you know, but we want to just be able to live our lives, and I don't know, I think it's pretty positive that we can move forward. I feel like there's always that insecurity of worrying about it, and if you see like somewhere that is, then it's like one less thing you have to be worried about and anxious and scared about. So I think everybody deserves recognition for like specific things, I guess. I don't know. Like if certain other things can have a parade, then I think that so do the gay people. They should deserve one. I mean, come on. We're all about parades and rainbows. So I think that adds a lot. And I think just getting it out there and making it, you know, the more it's out there, the more it's going to be normalized. And that's like one of my major goals has been since I figured out that I was gay, was just like, I just want to be like normal, make it normal so that people don't have to be like afraid of it or like have to judge it based off something that's irrelevant.
What advice would you give someone who just who wants to come out but they're afraid? Like, what advice would you give somebody to do?
It's so hard. It is really scary. I think don't do it till you're 100% ready. Don't let anybody force you to. Do it when you feel like you're 100% there, comfortable with it. And I think that's really key, because if you rush it, that's going to end up really badly in a lot of different ways. So you have to be 100% ready to. It's a big decision. It's scary, but I personally don't think it changes that much. It changes some things, but not a lot. So. What about all the plans that ended in disaster? No, what about love? What about trust? What about us? 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 What about us?